Here's a stat that'll make your coffee taste like regret. Nearly 60% of Americans have less than $1,000 in savings, and the median net worth around $192,900. Sounds okay, right? Until you realize that number is bloated by millionaires while most folks can barely cover a flat tire without taking out a small loan from grandma. And here's the real kicker. If you rent, your average net worth is around $10,000 while homeowners, they're sitting on almost $400,000. That's a 40x difference, and no, landlords aren't sprinkling magic wealth dust on their houses. So if you're thinking, awesome, I'm starting from zero, maybe even negative zero, how do I even begin? Relax. Today, I'm giving you the exact playbook to go from broke to building serious wealth without winning the lottery, living in your car, or eating ramen for the next 10 years. What you do need are simple, powerful steps that most people ignore because they're too busy chasing crypto moons, meme stocks, or TikTok millionaire hacks that work about as well as a screen door on a submarine. This isn't that. This is the real deal. The roadmap that works in the real world, even if you've got nothing but a dream and maybe a half-used Starbucks gift card. But first, quick disclaimer, this is not financial advice. It's for education and entertainment only. If you blow your entire paycheck on NFTs after watching this, that's on you, champ. Ready? Let's roll, because by the end of this video, you'll have a plan that makes wealth building feel less like a mystery and more like a Tuesday checklist. Before we talk about building wealth, let's start with the cold, hard truth, because if you're trying to climb a mountain, you need to know which side of the hill you're standing on. Here's what the numbers say. 60% of Americans have less than $1,000 in savings. That's not an emergency fund, that's a flat tire and a bad day away from financial panic. If you're under 35, the median net worth is around $15,000. Sounds okay until you realize that includes the equity in your 2013 Toyota Corolla. And the scary one? 78% of workers live paycheck to paycheck. That means if their boss forgets to run payroll, their landlord becomes their new roommate, uninvited. So, first lesson, stop comparing yourself to Instagram finance influencers showing off their cash flow while filming in front of a rented Lamborghini. Most people aren't rich. They're just good at filters and debt. Here's what I want you to do right now. Pull up your accounts. Yes, all of them. Checking, savings, Venmo, even that PayPal account you forgot existed. Add it all up. That's your starting point. It might sting, but pain is the down payment on change. Think of this like stepping on the scale before a fitness transformation. You can't crush the gym if you're pretending you weigh 180 when you're really 245. Same thing with money. The sooner you face it, the sooner you can fix it. And here's the silver lining. Starting from zero isn't the curse it feels like. Zero is a clean slate. It means you have no bad habits to unlearn, no massive portfolio of mistakes. You can start fresh with the right moves from day one. And those moves, they start with something most people overlook because they think it's boring, but skipping it is like trying to build a house without reading the blueprint. And that brings us to the part that separates broke dreamers from future millionaires. Before you earn it, before you save it, before you invest a single penny, you have to understand how money works. And no, that doesn't mean watching random TikToks telling you to buy this crypto before it explodes. That's not learning, that's gambling with extra steps. Here's the truth. Money is a game. It has rules, strategies, and traps. Most people lose because they don't even know what game they're playing. Here are the core rules you need to master. 1. Compound interest. If you don't know this term, memorize it like your favorite song lyric. Compound interest is interest on your interest. It's the reason a dollar invested at 20 years old can turn into $100 by retirement, while that same dollar invested at 40 barely buys you lunch. Time is your secret weapon, and the earlier you start, the more explosive the results. 2. Taxes. The IRS always gets their cut, but smart people know how to play the system legally. Learn what a tax bracket is. Understand why maxing a 401k lowers taxable income. Taxes aren't boring, they're the difference between keeping your money and giving it to Uncle Sam for free. 3. Cash flow and budgeting. Look, I get it. Budget sounds like funeral for your lifestyle. But this isn't about cutting out all joy. It's about telling your dollars where to go instead of wondering where they went. Even a simple 50-30-20 rule, 50% needs, 30% wants, 20% savings, puts you light years ahead of most people. The time value of money. $1 today is worth more than $1 tomorrow because it can grow. This is why procrastination is the most expensive habit on earth. Now, how do you learn this stuff without falling asleep? Read the classics. The Millionaire Next Door, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Binge legit finance channels on YouTube, not get-rich-quick clowns. Take a free personal finance course online. Yes, free because Google exists. Think of this like learning the rules of football before you play in the Super Bowl. You wouldn't hit the field without knowing what a touchdown is, right? Then why try to win with money when you don't know the difference between a Roth IRA and a roll of paper towels? And here's why this matters. The more you understand the game, the faster you'll recognize the plays that actually work and the scams that don't. And once you've learned the rules, it's time to make your first big money move. The one that turns you from a spectator into a player. Let's get one thing straight. You cannot save your way to wealth on a $2,500 a month paycheck. It's like trying to fill a swimming pool with a shot glass. Yeah, technically it's possible if you have 500 years. If you want to build real wealth from zero, the first rule is make more money. Forget the myth that cutting out your $6 Starbucks latte will make you a millionaire. At that rate, you'll hit millionaire status right about the time they invent teleportation. Here's the truth. Income is your wealth engine. The bigger the engine, the faster the car. Saving matters, but you can't save what you don't earn. So how do you boost income without selling your soul or creating a scammy hustle culture shrine? You upgrade your skills. Here's how. If you're making minimum wage, that's your signal to invest in yourself. Take an online course in tech, sales, or something the market is begging for. Think high-demand skills. Copywriting, data analysis, project management, coding, digital marketing. Then stack side hustles that scale. Freelance work, content creation, tutoring. Side hustles aren't just for broke college kids, they're training wheels for entrepreneurship. Why is this so critical? Because once you earn more, every financial decision gets easier. Saving becomes less painful, investing becomes possible, and you don't have to stress over every $10 splurge, and don't fall into the "I'll save when I earn more" trap. That's a lie we tell ourselves while adding extra guac to our burrito. The rule is earn more, save more at the same time. If you're bringing in an extra $500 a month, don't let lifestyle creep steal it. Invest that gap. If you increase your income by $1,000 a month and save just half of that $500 over 10 years at an average market return of 7%, you'll have around $87,000. That's the power of growing the gap between income and expenses. But earning more is only half the game. Because even if you triple your income, if you don't do this next thing, you'll still end up broke. And that's why this next part is your best friend. It takes discipline out of the equation and makes wealth building automatic. Want to know why most people fail at saving? Because they rely on willpower. And willpower is like that friend who says, "Yeah, I'll totally help you move this weekend," and then disappears when the truck shows up. Humans are terrible at manual money management. That's why automation is your secret weapon. When you automate, you take the decision-making out of your hands and remove the temptation to forget to save because you saw a new iPhone commercial. Here's how to do it like a pro. Direct deposit split. Tell your employer to send a percentage of your paycheck straight to a separate savings or investment account before it ever hits checking. Auto transfer on payday. If you can't split deposits, schedule an automatic transfer the day your paycheck lands. Make it so fast you don't even see the money sitting in checking. Set recurring investments. Use robo-advisors or brokerage apps to schedule the automatic buys of index funds every month. Dollar cost averaging turns volatility into your friend. Why does this work? Because it leverages your laziness in your favor. If you had to manually transfer $300 every paycheck, you'd find excuses. But if it happens in the background, you barely notice and your wealth snowballs. Think of automation as financial autopilot. Pilots don't manually steer planes for 6 hours straight, they set a course and let the system do the heavy lifting. That's what you want for your money. And here's the best part. Once automation is set, every dollar saved is working for you without extra effort. You can binge Netflix guilt-free because your future self is getting paid while you watch Tiger King reruns. But here's the catch. If you're dragging debt around like a financial ball and chain, automation alone won't save you. Because if you're bleeding 20% in credit card interest, no amount of set it and forget it is going to fix that. Which brings us to the emergency surgery your wallet needs before you start building anything else. If you're still watching, you're already ahead of 90% of people. Drop a "let's build" in the comments if this is hitting home, because trust me, these habits will pay you back for life. You can't build a skyscraper on a sinking foundation, and carrying debt, especially high-interest debt, is like building your dream house on quicksand. Every dollar you invest gets eaten alive by credit card interest. Let me paint you a picture. You invest $500 in the stock market expecting 8% returns. Cool, you make about $40 in a year. But if you've got a $5,000 credit card balance at 22% interest, you're losing $1,100 a year to the bank. That's not a wealth plan. That's a donation program for Visa and MasterCard. So how do you break free? 2 battle-tested methods. The debt avalanche, aka the math nerd favorite. Attack the debt with the highest interest rate first, while making minimum payments on the rest. Why? Because the faster you kill the most expensive debt, the more money you save on interest. The debt snowball, aka the psychology hack. Start with your smallest debt first, pay it off quick, and build momentum. It's like getting early wins in a video game. You feel invincible and keep going. Which one should you pick? Honestly, whichever you'll stick to. Math says avalanche is better, but if paying off a tiny $300 balance first gets you hyped, do it. The best plan is the one you actually follow. Call your credit card company and negotiate a lower interest rate. You'd be shocked how often they say yes because they'd rather keep you as a paying customer than lose you to a balance transfer card. Speaking of which, 0% intro APR balance transfer cards can buy you time to pay debt down faster. And here's the kicker. Once the debt's gone, keep making those same payments, but to yourself. If you were paying $400 a month to debt, redirect it to investments. This is how people go from drowning in interest to swimming in wealth. But even after you've slayed the debt dragon, there's another monster lurking, the one that wipes out entire bank accounts overnight. And that's why this next topic is your financial life jacket. Skip it, and you're one unexpected disaster away from starting all over. Here's the thing about life. It's unpredictable. Your car doesn't care about your savings plan when it decides to blow a transmission. Your boss doesn't consult your budget before handing out layoffs. And medical bills? They're like jump scares in a horror movie. You never see them coming. That's why you need an emergency fund. Think of it as your financial moat, the barrier that keeps chaos from storming your castle. So, how much do you need? The golden rule is 3 to 6 months of living expenses. If your monthly essentials, rent, food, utilities, cost $2,000, you're looking at $6,000 to $12,000 saved. Sounds big? That's the point. It buys you time and peace of mind. But here's where people mess up. They either keep this money in checking, where it's too easy to accidentally spend, or they stick it in a risky investment hoping to grow it. Number your emergency fund should be liquid, safe, and boring. High-yield savings account pays a little interest while staying accessible. Money market account, slightly better yield, still safe. Why not invest it? Because the stock market can tank 30% in a bad year. You don't want your emergency fund doing roller coasters when your roof caves in. And let me hit you with this. Having an emergency fund isn't just about safety, it's about freedom. When you have 6 months of cash, you make better decisions at work, in life, in business. You're not stuck in a toxic job because you need the next paycheck. That's power. Start small. Your first goal? $1,000. Celebrate that win. Then stack it up. If you can automate contributions to this fund, even better. Set it and forget it. Because once you have that safety net, you're ready for the move that actually grows your wealth like crazy. And it's not buying crypto because a guy on Reddit told you it's going to the moon. Net is where the real compounding magic begins, and you'll kick yourself if you skip it. All right, you've killed debt, built your emergency fund, and automated savings. Now it's time to make your money work harder than you do. Because let's be honest, no one gets rich hoarding cash under a mattress or in a checking account, earning 0.01% interest. Here's the deal. Investing isn't optional if you want real wealth. Why? Because inflation is a silent thief. At 3% inflation, your money loses half its buying power in about 24 years. That means your $10,000 emergency stash in 2024 is worth $5,000 2048. Ouch. Investing flips that script by putting your dollars to work. Where do you start without a Wall Street degree? Index funds. These are like the Costco of investing. You get everything for a low price. An S&P 500 index fund gives you exposure to 500 major U.S. companies, automatically diversified. ETFs, same idea, but traded like stocks. Target date funds, perfect for set-it-and-forget-it investors. Pick the year you plan to retire, and the fund adjusts your risk automatically. Why index funds? Because 96% of active fund managers fail to beat the market long-term. So why try to outsmart Wall Street when you can ride the wave? Now let's talk returns. Historically, the stock market averages about 7 to 10% annually. That means if you invest $500 a month for 30 years at an 8% return, you'll end up with around $745,000. That's compound interest flexing its muscles. Start small. Don't wait until you have more money. The sooner you start, the bigger your snowball gets. Investing $100 a month starting at 25 beats, investing $500 a month starting at 40. Set up recurring buys in your brokerage account. That way, you're dollar cost averaging, buying in at highs, lows, and everything in between. Timing the market is for psychics and gamblers. Consistency wins. Here's the truth. Investing has ups and downs. You will see red days. But the trend over decades? Up. Your retirement account is not a lottery ticket, it's a marathon. So stop checking your portfolio every 5 minutes. Unless stress wrinkles are your thing. But before you run off and dump your life savings into stocks, there's a little thing most people forget: protecting what you've built. Because the bigger your pile of cash gets, the more you need this next step. What's next is like a security system for your financial house. Skip it, and one bad break-in could wipe you out. Building wealth is exciting, but keeping it? That's where most people blow it. They focus on making money but forget the golden rule. Defense wins championships. And in personal finance, defense means protection. What kind of protection are we talking about? 3 big ones. 1. Insurance that actually matters. Forget the extended warranty on your toaster. Here's what you do need. Health insurance, 1 ER visit without it, and you're toast. Medical bills are the #1 cause of bankruptcy in America. Disability insurance. If you can't work, your income stops, but your bills don't. Term life insurance. If people depend on your income, term life is non-negotiable. Cheap, simple, and it protects your family if something happens to you. 2. Legal and identity protection. Identity theft isn't just a Netflix documentary. It's real, and it happens to millions of Americans every year. Use strong passwords, enable 2-factor authentication, and monitor your credit. Services like Credit Karma or even paid monitoring tools can alert you before someone takes out a loan in your name to buy a yacht. 3. Emergency plan for your investments. Have beneficiaries listed on your accounts. Set up a will or at least a basic estate plan so your assets don't end up in legal limbo if something happens. Think of this step like putting a lock on your Lamborghini. What's the point of owning something valuable if you're leaving the doors wide open? And here's the kicker. This isn't about being paranoid, it's about being prepared. Because wealth without protection is like building a sandcastle at low tide. You'll lose it faster than you made it. But we're not done yet, because what if I told you the final step isn't about money at all, and yet it might be the most important thing you'll ever do for your financial future? All right, here's the twist. The last step isn't about money, it's about what's happening between your ears. Because here's the truth, you can have the best strategy, the best automation, the best investments, and still end up broke if you can't get your mindset straight. Why? Because building wealth isn't just a math problem, it's a behavior problem. People who win with money, they understand two things. One, money is a tool, not a trophy. Two, consistency beats genius every single time. Let me ask you something. Did you notice a theme in everything we talked about? None of these steps were complicated. We didn't invent a new crypto coin. We didn't day trade penny stocks. It was earn more, save more, automate, protect, invest. So why doesn't everyone do it? Because their mindset sabotages them. The rich think long-term. The broke think payday to payday. The rich see money as a worker, they put it to work and let it multiply. The broke treat money like a lottery ticket, they're always hoping for a miracle. And here's the kicker. You already have everything you need to start, even if you're at zero right now. The wealth game isn't about perfection, it's about direction. Every small win compounds. Every smart move snowballs. That's why this last step matters so much. It's what keeps you playing the game when the market dips, when life throws curveballs, when you feel like giving up. Remember when we said earning more is key? That's your engine. Never stop upgrading your skills. Automation. That's your pilot. It keeps the plane steady even in turbulence. Debt payoff. That's your runway. You can't take off with a 500-pound anchor. Emergency fund. That's your parachute so you don't crash when life hits hard. Investing. That's your wings because compounding is what gets you to financial freedom. Protection. That's your seatbelt because wealth without defense is a disaster waiting to happen. And mindset? That's the cockpit. You're in control. Don't hand the wheel to fear or hype. Now picture this. It's 5 years from now. You ignored this video and nothing changed. You're still stressed about money, still waiting for the right time. Or you decided today's the day you start. You set up automation. You knocked out debt. You started investing even if it was just $50 a month. Fast forward, and now you've got breathing room. Options, freedom. Which version of you do you want to be? If this hit you with at least one aha moment, say hello in the comments. I want to know which step made you think, wow, I've been sleeping on this. And if you're ready to actually build wealth instead of just binge watching videos about it, hit that subscribe. Because remember, building wealth isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about starting, staying consistent, and letting time do its thing. So start today. Future, you will thank you and probably buy you a very nice vacation. See you in the next one.